shortly. Here we go.
I could help these guys anti-bitter.
Right now.
The standard of truth has been erected.
Stop playing defense.
You're absolutely right.
No unhallowed hand can stop the broadcast.
That is the way that a lot of Latter-day Saints do apologetics.
Cancel culture rages and mobs combine.
We actually had one of the protesters over for dinner.
What?
But the truth of God will go forth boldly
These people are lying to you. They do not care about you.
until it has reached every television, sounded in every iPhone, and reached every person. This signal will continue to go forth. Here we defend truth. Here we denounce deception. Here we are created in the image of God. Our detractors call us crazy, but our friends call us.
Tell me who you are, get in the car right now. You spin the stars, I want it all right now. Right now. Right now.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Ward Radio live stream. I am your host, Cardinellis, and today I'm joined by a holly jolly cast. None other than Brittany the Beautiful Shadow, as well as our dear friend, the professor of all things apocryphal, none other than Jonah Barnes via the interwebs. And wow, you're in a festive mood. Are you in a hotel room, bro? What's going on?
No, I'm not in a hotel room. No, this is my house. This is the only place I can go to get away from my children for 1 hour.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool. Sweet. Awesome. Yeah, I was about to say that looks like a hotel room, dog. Good job. Your taste is refined, my friend.
Oh, thank you. Me and Marriott, we have similar tastes.
Yeah, you and you and brother Marriott. Awesome.
Jonah,
okay.
I can't help but notice something on your head.
What's that? What's that, Brittany?
Your beard, obviously.
My
Okay.
beard. It's a holiday beard. I cut it special holiday beard. Thank you. Yes, Cardin, where's your holiday beard, by the way?
No, it's freshly shaven because I knew I was going to see you and I was going to see our lovely audience here. Speaking of which, as you guys are coming into the chat, please make sure that you like the stream on the way in. It tells the algorithms that, you know, you like what you see. And also, if we haven't had a chance yet to earn your subscription, please let this be the day that we earn your subscription. There's so much that we're going to be talking about. Huge representation on PragerU. Awesome stuff going on in Times Square. Not so awesome stuff in Jonah Barnes's neighborhood. His church got broken into. I mean, we're going to be talking about all kinds of stuff. Please, in the chat, if you guys have a topic you'd like us to discuss or something you'd like to say, if you would like to opine, please make sure that you send us a super chat. We'll do our best to read that on screen live. So, Jonah, why don't you tell us all the things we're going talking about today? I see the Discord is just full. It is replete, my friend. Tell me what's going on.
It is replete. It was pleat, but now it's pleat all over again.
It's replete.
It's replete.
Yes. Awesome.
So we're talking about a couple things. The funnest thing is that PragerU, some social media person at PragerU, in charge of their Twitter, is putting up things, trying to get conversations going, and they decided to put up blank is a modern prophet.
Oh, savage. I love it.
And send it out into the world to see what people would respond with. Like, who is a modern prophet? Right? And I'm just so curious, like, who uses that nomenclature? I wonder, like, do social media people, like, know a lot of members of the church? Or are they a member of the church? I don't know. But they put out, blank is a modern prophet. And the responses were beautiful. They were beautiful. The saints came through. Brother Cheerio in our chat right now, he was one of them who came through. And the responses are fantastic. So in the Discord, there's a couple samplings of the responses. There's one video link. Somebody compiled all the responses and put them on there. Let's just
Are you kidding me?
It's fantastic.
Well, first off, I see Mike Lee, a sitting U.S. senator, actually straight up said Russell M. Nelson, obviously, which that's pretty gutsy. Usually Mormon senators are kind of pansies. Like, I don't know if I could see Mitt Romney doing that. I don't know if Orrin Hatch would have done that. I know a couple of savages down here in Southern California that would have, but they're used to being hated by the establishment.
And the fact that he added, obviously, that's just like a little zinger right there.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, that took some guts.
But I'm so sorry. We need to. Oh my gosh, we've just got all kinds of people coming in here.
Yeah,
we're gonna get behind real quick.
Jonah.
Yes. Let's see here. Who do we got? We be joy to get in the papers for the newest shipmate, Mary Lou Howarth. All ye be joyed at this. Pledge your souls by Brandon the Chat with a W.
Yeah.
Oh, she gave memberships.
She gifted
She
5.
gifted 5 memberships. Mary
Mary
Lou.
Lou.
It's Howarth, not Hayworth. So Mary Lou Howarth. Oh, she probably got savaged in junior high. Her name is Howarth.
Or Howarth.
Or Howarth. Oh, yeah, I better not. I'm sorry, Mary Lou.
No,
I'm sorry,
Mary
I butchered
Lou,
your
she was
name.
gorgeous in junior high, and she still is. Gifted 5 memberships. Also, Hebrew Done Right. We be joy to get in the papers for Hebrew Done Right, Aimed Music, Paul Strait, and Wonko 6x9. And all ye be joyed at this. Pledge your souls by Brandon the Chat with a W.
Awesome. That is awesome. We've received the records of all these new members. Please put a W in the chat to accept them into the ward. This is great. Thanks for being here, guys. This is awesome.
Being part of the ward family. Part of the ward
Okay,
family.
so
Do you want me to get to these super chats?
oh
Before
yeah,
we
let's
dive
hit the
in?
super chats before we dive in. Hit it.
Okay, Beef It to Be Fit says Pirate Bible Talk is now part of the zeitgeist.
Oh, nothing warms my soul more than hearing that the Pirate Bible is literally getting into the zeitgeist. This is awesome.
Okay, Stephen Diamond says, I ordered my complete Apocrypha recently, Jonah, but there is a lack of information in the temple rocks. How could they miss that? But you guys won't.
No.
That's a good point. Yeah, that needs to be. We need to clarify some of that. Thank you, Steve, for bringing that to our attention. I'm thrilled that people are reading the Apocrypha, guys. Well, we'll get going about it, but these are the records that were prophesied. They're out there. We just need to go find them and read them.
Okay, so back to this PragerU blank is a prophet thing. I'm looking up the original tweet right here, and this is amazing. You can see it right here on the top. For those of you guys that are listening on the radio, it's the official Twitter account or the official x.com account of PragerU, which famously is Prager University, which is an online university that gives all kinds of informational videos on history, pop culture, politics. It's not a real university, but is instead an educational institution that's headed up by a very popular conservative radio host, kind of a Jewish scholar / thought leader who's also written some great books on the Old Testament named Dennis Prager. Okay. And, it's called PragerU or Prager University, and they put out this tweet that literally says, blank is a modern prophet, obviously encouraging those who would like to opine to make a comment. And oh my gosh, this is so epic. Look at this. I know that the algorithms are feeding me some red meat that I want to see probably, but like, look at this. It says, hey, I'm not sure if anyone has said this yet, but Russell M. Nelson, Lego Joseph Smith, Russell M. Nelson, Deep Read Dan, oh boy, is PragerU getting schooled, and it's nothing but pictures of Joseph Smith, Russell M. Nelson, 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 he the man, Russell M. Nelson, Russell M. This is just
it goes on. It goes on and on.
Yeah.
I put a video in the chat. Somebody compiled as many as they could. This is, at noon today, and they just compiled as many. And it just scrolls and scrolls and scrolls through all the responses that are Russell and Nelson.
This is epic. Okay, so I'm going to the Discord, and I'm looking up link to all the Oh, man, this is probably going to be really good, isn't it? Okay, so here it goes. I'm going to press pause, and the whole audience is going to be able to see it right here. So this is Theodore Elliott, at Real Theo Elliott, and it says, member of the Church of Jesus Christ, patriot, populist, and social conservative. I make political articles and design, fan of boxing and whatever. Okay, so this is some member out there named Theodore has done a video for us all to enjoy. Thank you, Jonah Barnes. Whoops. Okay, this is insanely prolific. It keeps going. Like, there's not a soul that hasn't said Russell M. Nelson. Like, did somebody actually get smart in the church office building and retweet this from like Russell M. Nelson's account? Like, what?
So I scrolled as far as I could go, and I saw one person who said Jordan B. Peterson. One.
Really?
I looked at hundreds and hundreds and hundreds.
Okay.
So either
look at this. It goes for another like 10 seconds. Look at this. Oh my gosh. That is epic. That was hilarious. So of course, the anti-Mormons are furious, I'm sure. Has ex-Mormon subreddit gotten a hold of this yet? Are they trying to go in there and say, no, he's not, because actually the truth is that there is no such thing as modern revelation. It's all just a bunch of chemical reactions inside the head, and I've got depression, and I figured that out later, and I'm so grateful that I've been liberated from all these silly, foolish beliefs because I've been talking to a psychologist, and real science can answer all of these questions. There is no God. You know?
No, I have a full stomach, so I have to stay away from ex-Mormon subreddit.
Oh,
I'm gonna lose it all.
Dude, this is prolific.
They're
Holy
fantastic.
smoke, dog. This is epic, man. I'm
That's
just
pretty
going
good.
straight down the list here from the original. If any of you guys, I do not have the stomach for some of the things he says, but Jacob Hansen on Thoughtful Faith has been following this and putting up a couple of really good and really funny attached quotes to this, and I have just been eating it up. It is absolutely hilarious. I mean, look at this. Everybody just says Russell M. Nelson, and it's funny because Jacob, I believe he said something like, "Well done, Saints, well done." You know, I was pretty stoked. All right, dog. So has the world been educated? Who do you think? Okay, that was kind of an alley-oop. Like, there's no other church out there. There's no other organization out there that claims specifically the title of modern prophet, right?
Right.
So
right. No, if you were in social media for PragerU and you wanted to hook like 1,000 online Latter-day Saints to your channel, to your tweet, that's exactly how you would do it, because they've got 10,000 responses to that tweet of Latter-day Saints saying, "Oh, Russell M. Nelson." So either they're playing 4D chess with us, or they kind of owned themselves. I don't know which it is, but well done, guys.
All
Brilliant.
right. Well, keepers of the chats. I see a couple of other super chats have come up. Why don't you tell us what's going on? Brittany the
Okay.
Shadow. Brittany the beautiful Shadow.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you. Aim to Music says, Cardin pressured me last stream into becoming a member. JK.
Oh.
Wanted to support the work, and I'm glad to be one of Ward Radio's youth. Well, thank you, Aim to Music.
Oh, rock on, man. So that's cool.
And
So he's one of Ward Radio's youth.
Also in the chat, one of our newest members, Hebrew Done Right, has announced that today he's decided, or she, perhaps, has decided to come back to church.
Oh.
And we think that is a fantastic decision. So, well done, Hebrew Done Right. You've done right. Come back to church. Come back to the kingdom of God of the earth.
You know, good
awesome.
on these people. I got to tell you, we've had a lot of inactive members over the past 3 or 4 live streams. There's been a lot of people commenting, and a lot of people super chatting, saying, you know what? Like, I was an actor for a long time. I was drinking the anti-Mormon Kool-Aid, and then I stumbled upon your show online, and I kind of realized, not like some kind of woe is me thing, but like, okay, maybe I'm like overthinking this or something, and they realized you don't have to be perfect to come, and like, it's better in, and nothing's perfect. So you might as well be like, they've given me all kinds of different reasoning here, but we've had 5, 6, 7, 8 comments.
Yeah, who was the one that just got baptized on Saturday? Like, after investigating the church for 5 years? I think that was on the live stream last night. They said, I was just baptized on Saturday. I can't remember who that was, though.
Oh, I wish, man, this chemo brain is killing me. I can't remember all this stuff.
No, there's a bunch of, it's hard to keep track of them all. I mean, just over the past year, I don't know how many. I mean, we've gotten comments that are like amazingly touching. People saying, my family, I was going to, who was the person who said I was going to leave the church and lose everything, and you guys have helped me out. Just know that out there somewhere is a whole family that owes you their, happiness or something. You're like, oh my gosh, like,
yeah. Well, I wouldn't say they owe me their happiness, but that we got to take a small part in it. Yes.
No, they said it. They said, just know out there somewhere that there's a family.
And there was that lovely family in Australia that said, look, I married my husband when I was inactive, and he was kind of a little anti-Mormon, and we never went to church. But then when I had kids, I kind of thought, this is useful, and I kind of want to go back. And he kind of chided us, wanted nothing to do with it. In fact, kind of overtly made fun of us for a while, until I stumbled on your show, and a lot of the doubts and concerns and challenges he had, you guys were addressing. And so I started sending him links to your show. And apparently this guy came back, and I'm brutalizing the quote here, of course, but it was something along the lines of, hey, if there's room for these guys in the faith and they can speak openly and honestly about this, that maybe there's room for me, and you don't have to be perfect to be able to be a participant. So, hey, let's do this thing. And the guy got baptized after like 10 years. Not
this guy. One member of the chat, one person in the chat. I am getting baptized this Saturday in Oregon. You guys really helped solidify my testimony.
Really?
Hey, where in Oregon? Is it Portland? Dude, I'll come.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're in Jonah's neck of the world. I mean, Santa's neck of the world.
Yeah, you can
Dude,
dodge all the
it's in
naked
Portland.
people on bicycles and homeless folk, and you might have to cut through the middle of the Chaz to get there, but dude, Jonah will show up, man. That's awesome.
Dude, that'd be good for you, man. Good for you. You're doing the right thing. Good for you. And just to anybody else who's listening here, I said this to a member in a Temple Recommend interview this last week. Look, if you work late Saturday nights, or if you have to miss a Sunday because your boss is dragging you in, or if you don't fit in with your elders quorum or whatever, who cares? You're still a saint. You're still baptized. Just even if you don't ever go to church, that doesn't mean that you're out. Satan wants to sit on your shoulder and be like, oh, well, you don't go to sacrament meeting? That means all your covenants are void. Bull crap, not void. Stop it. You're still trying the best that you can in whatever place that you are. And so, don't buy into that. Come subscribe to our channel. Keep reading your scriptures. Keep praying. Keep paying your tithing. Keep doing the things you should be doing. And if you can't attend sacrament meeting for whatever reason, it's not the end of the world. Someday you'll have time to do it. But don't let Satan convince you that you're irredeemable. I hear that all the time, and I hate it.
P.S. I usually don't feed the trolls, but this is hilarious. Like, we got an anti-Mormon in the chat that's like, once a cult gets you in their grasp, it's hard to get out. I'm like, this is totally voluntary, right? Like it's literally like, visitors welcome.
Anti-Mormons, they kind of remind me of, okay, so we just saw the new Trolls movie. Anti-Mormons kind of remind me of Bergens. Like, they're just kind of walking around like, I'm just so depressed, and I am like, nothing is right in the world. Like, honestly, like, raise yourself a little higher. Like, go do something worthwhile. Like, have fun, be positive, like, get your energy up. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to get out. I mean, if you try to get out of our cult, you know what we might do? We might just bring you a plate of fresh baked cookies.
Yeah, watch out, dog. Watch out, dude.
House.
Those Mormons, if they disagree with you, they might upgrade to brownies. If you have a real discussion on, oh man, it's funny.
Right. Well, okay, but also in the Discord card, and I threw in, so the original time that the prophetship, that the modern prophet got into the zeitgeist back in, I think it was the 1960s, was when Charlton Heston played Moses in the Ten Commandments. So
Really?
David, a little bit of history. David O. McKay was best buddies with Cecil DeMille, who was the director.
Shut up. He was really?
Oh, they were best buddies.
Wait, Cecil B. DeMille was friends with who?
David O. McKay.
Oh, shut up. Is this another one of your jokes where you're setting up for a punchline and I was too
think
silly?
Dude,
so.
I'm
I
totally
can't-
serious. How dare you? How dare you, pardon? I'm always serious.
Okay, I'm going with it. I can't tell yet, but I'm going with it.
No, okay. Well, now you're fine. I'm fine. I'll have to throw the picture in there and make you eat crow in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Do you want me to say the super chat?
Yes,
Or-
say the super chat while he's trying to make me eat crow.
Okay, I gotta scroll. I think it's Fights Word Radio, PragerU, Comeback Podcast, John Dehlin, Panhandling. Okay.
Those are topics maybe they want us to discuss.
Yeah, I think what
don't
he's
know.
talking about is PragerU, and that's what we're addressing right now. The fact that Dennis Prager's Twitter account said, oh, blank is a modern prophet, and, Mormonism went nuts. It was beautiful to watch. Comeback podcast. I don't know exactly which part about the Comeback podcast. I've spoken with the host of the Comeback podcast, and she's got an open invitation to come on our show. We're gonna have to organize that at some time in the future. There was some controversy with her deciding to take down a podcast with Shane Baldwin. I left up mine, and the multiples that we've had, I found him to be honest and decent with us in all of our endeavors and workings with him. And I don't feel comfortable myself putting myself up too much as somebody's judge of character. My job is to relay information, to entertain people, to be a podcaster, not a judge in Israel. And in the specific case of Shane Baldwin, I find it very odd when people get mad because he doesn't seem to represent himself as anything else than somebody who learned great lessons while in prison. And he came out, wrote a book about those lessons he learned, and has done everything within his power to recompense people to such a degree that the church, while he was in prison, gave him his temple recommend back, which is pretty unheard of. And
wow.
So, yeah. And so when people ask, because he's been hitting a lot of podcasts and things like that lately. So I'll get a lot of calls where people are like, well, what did you think? Cause like, I heard this, I heard that. And they're, hear a bunch of gossip and hearsay. They're all just kind of generalizations and aspersions, nothing specific. I always say, hey, look, just be careful. If you want to take the route of, I don't know if I should talk to somebody until I've investigated him yet. Now you're putting yourself in the role of an investigator instead of a podcaster. And are you a better judge of character than the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints? And are you a better criminal investigator than the FBI? Because the FBI said he paid his dues and cleared him of a bunch of charges. And the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints said he paid his dues and gave him his temple recommend back while he was actually in prison. So I'm like, geez, I don't know if there's any more information that I could get about this guy than the FBI has, the Federal Bureau of Investigation. And I also don't know if there's any kind of spiritual insight I can have more than the priesthood leaders that are called to serve over him where he was doing his time and everything. So I'm like, okay, I don't see any smoking guns here without any specifics. I'm kind of almost a free speech purist. I do draw the line somewhere. I'm a Christian man. You know what I'm saying? But at the
I
end
don't
of
like
the
to
day,
cancel stuff. Look,
Yeah.
the guy was cool, came on the show. If you don't like his style, you don't like his style. It doesn't mean that we're married to the guy. He was a guest on the show and he did a good job.
Yeah. So anyway,
Ready for more super chats?
come
really
back
fast?
podcast. Oh, and then John Dehlin panhandling. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh, we're not forgetting about Cecil DeMille being good friends. It's the
No.
last that I just put in two
No,
images
we were
in the
just
Discord. cousin.
no. John Dehlin was panhandling for money earlier today. He was saying, "Look, this year's been really hard, and there's been a lot of bad attacks on me, like personally, and so we might have to like." If we've lost some donors, and if I can't have, he sounds like literally like a prosperity gospel preacher.
Oh my gosh.
He's like, oh, actually, I got to look this up. I totally have
Okay,
to
while
look
you're doing
this
that,
up.
I'm going to say some more super chats.
Okay, say some super chats.
Okay, Stephen Diamond. Why is my phone trying to auto finish on super chats? I don't know.
Nice job, phone. Your
Yeah.
phone's
Oh,
trying to
There's
get
all
super
this
chat?
new AI stuff that's going on, and I notice it when I go to reply. I'll say like, oh, thank you, and then it will want to finish my auto reply. Yeah, I think I know what he's talking about. There's this new AI stuff going on to finish your sentences in YouTube when you go to Super Chat. So anyway, yeah, keep going.
And then Bryson, he said about over a year ago, you guys helped me come back to this church as well. So grateful, you guys.
Oh, is that Bryson Wanner?
It just says Bryson, possibly.
Yeah, there's this kid named Bryson Wanner who's a really, really cool cat that does YouTube shorts.
Oh, cool.
And I've actually been meaning to connect with him again recently too. But yeah, he's a cool guy too. And I heard his story. Yeah, another beautiful story. And I love it when people take their spirituality seriously, especially in their adult years. I can see why somebody might have gone inactive as a kid because their family went inactive, because you kind of go the way the river takes you. And I can see sometimes how people are just kind of wishy-washy members that were raised in the church because your family went to church, so you kind of just went to church with them and you go the way the river takes you. But people that in their adult years make conscious, beautiful decisions to say, I am going to take my spirituality seriously and do whatever adjustments in behavior that are voluntary, necessary, and in order to improve that spirituality, God bless these people.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know if I would be that way. I sometimes I wonder if I wouldn't just be a statistic if I were not raised in the faith myself, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, keep going.
That's it. Off to Jonah.
Okay, off to Jonah.
Okay. So, yes. So, just remember, guys, just putting in a plug for our good friend John Dehlin, okay? Lawyers aren't cheap.
Okay.
Sexual harassment defense lawyers, not cheap, guys. So open your wallets for Giles Dehlin this holiday season, okay?
Where's that tweet? Where's that tweet that went out, man? Do you have a copy of that tweet where he was panhandling?
Oh gosh,
No, it is really
what a heartbreak.
funny.
What a heartbreak.
No, I want to see it. Like I'm trying to look.
Did he just do this today?
I think he just did it today. Look, I'm actually on his. I'm on his Twitter account right now, and I'm not finding it. It's bothering me here.
Defense lawyers ain't cheap, people. Okay.
Yeah.
Help a brother out, right?
I can't, man. I hope he didn't erase it. I hope he didn't erase it.
Oh, I got it right here.
Oh, you putting it in the Discord, my man? You putting it in the Discord?
I'm going to throw it in the.
Okay, so here it goes up in the Discord. This one was
really
really funny. This one was really funny. Okay, so
okay, I'll put it right here.
You put it right there, yeah.
I know you think I'm going to forget about the Cecil B. DeMille thing, but
no, I'm not going to forget about the Cecil B. DeMille thing. Okay, so here it is right here. Oh, this is hilarious. Look at this. He said, okay, Mormon Stories podcast is truly at a crossroads. A crossroads. Yeah, between one tax bracket to another. You know what I'm saying? Between the under $1 million a year pay wage and the over $1 million a year pay wage gap. Sorry. So anyway, Mormon Stories podcast is truly at a crossroads. We have our highest impact year of all time by far in 2023, but we have also lost several recurring donors that have not been replaced by new donors. We have also been the subject of fierce attacks that have been extremely expensive financially and in terms of time and emotional energy. Like the 2 times, remember the 2 times he complained about us and said that he felt he was in fear of us? Both of them were within a week of his fundraising goal in December. It's always in December. He's talking about these like horrible attacks and I'm under attack. It's because
fierce attacks.
The fiscal season's almost over. The fiscal season's almost over, right?
Okay, but did this come out today?
It came out in the past couple of days, like 24 or 48 hours.
Oh, because I was like, if it was today, I mean, my social media is flooded with like hashtag Giving Tuesday. Where you're supposed to donate money, so I wonder if that's why.
God.
Yeah,
I don't
Giving
know.
2 days. So anyway, here it is. We have also been the subject of fierce attacks that have been extremely expensive financially in terms of time and emotional energy. We are currently at the point of possibly needing to reduce our efforts unless at least a few hundred donors step up to replace the donors we lost over the past 2 years. Prosperity gospel people and Democrat politicians talk this exact same way. Prosperity gospel people are like, oh, and our homeless program is feeding hundreds. And you know, there's a lot of starving single mothers out there. But my private jet needs more fuel and the leather seats are starting to crack. I mean we need more resources. We need more resources. We've lost a couple donors and we may not be able to feed the homeless and help the starving or those single mothers.
I'm trying to slip a couple bills into Tatiana's G-string, but I can't do it. I can't do it without some help from y'all.
So look, we're currently at the point of possibly needing to reduce our efforts unless at least a few hundred monthly donors step up to replace the donors we've lost over the past 2 years. If you find value in Mormon Stories podcast, either for yourself or the broader community, please consider supporting. Dude, in California, every time our single party rule Democrats come and they want to ruin more of the state, they always say, oh, you know, just the budget, it's just not there. We don't have budget. I guess we have to take away the firemen's pensions. And I guess we have to fire all of the teachers. And they never say like, yeah, we're going to cut back on the stupid bullet train. And oh yeah, you know, all of these dumb, wasteful programs like studying why lesbians are overweight. You know, there was literally like a $3.2 million survey. I remember there was like studying why gay men are more fit than gay women, you know, and it's like, what? Like, here, give me half of that budget and I'll just tell you because all of us know the answer. Hey. You know what I'm saying? Was that really a $3.2 million? Like, okay, let's put
give me 3.1.
Yeah,
and I'll do it.
You want money for the pensions of the firemen? There's 20 firemen's pensions right there. Get rid of that stupid survey nobody needs. Right. So anyway, here he is again, just panhandling for money.
Okay, can we move on now?
Yes, we can. Sorry, you don't enjoy it as much as us.
I don't.
You are the keepers of the chats, and you keep us in line. Good job.
Okay, ready?
Bird.
Hebrew done right says, Cardin, I think you'll want to hear my testimony. How can I contact you?
Yeah, reach out on the website. I'm glad Hebrew done right made another comment because I want to know Hebrew done right. Do you speak Hebrew, brother? Because if so, you and we got to talk, man. Because I was actually going to take Hebrew classes at the Central Synagogue in New York City when I lived there in 2009 and 2010. And I'd signed up for classes, and I am charmed and I am intrigued by the ancient writ of the Semites. And I think it's a lovely tongue that I wish I could read, if not just to dive into the Dead Sea Scrolls and ancient scripture. I think the fact that Israelites can read 3,000-year-old writings from the ancients and pull out and understand 60, 70, 80, 90% of it, I think is wonderful. Same with Mandarin Chinese speaking people. They can read 1,000-year-old, 2,000-year-old documents written in Chinese because the pictographic languages haven't changed. Whereas in English, we can barely read 1700s Shakespearean, 17th century Shakespeare. And 15th and 14th century English isn't even English. It's half Germanic Middle English. And 1,000 years ago, our language did not even exist.
Our primary at Sunday school, this is a tragedy that we need to address. Our primary at Sunday school isn't even using our forefathers' pirate Bible translation. They come up with some English Standard Version. Our children, they're growing up without their roots of that pirate Bible vernacular. Okay, that Christ was sailing the seven seas. How many times do you hear a prayer from primary children and you don't even hear them say yarn?
Yarn.
So
Yeah.
What's happening to the kids today?
Our Captain in Heaven.
Jonah gets me every time because he will point blank stare and talk, and then it's then here comes the joke. And
Brittany, I'm always serious, Brittany. This is a serious channel, okay?
It's you
by the
and
way-
Cardin's Uncle John that always do this to me, and I'm always hook, line, and sinker, uh-oh.
By the way,
It's a joke.
ye mateys, we be joyed in getting the papers for our newest shipmate, the Dove's Nest, who will be joining us on the great ship Celestial. All ye landlubbers be joyed at this. Pledge your souls by Brandon the Chat with a W.
Hey, we got a girl. Rock on. We've got a bunch of girls lately. Our channel stats are brutally masculine. There's some times where it says members that have joined, it's 92% dudes or 80%. Now, YouTube itself is a very masculine social media platform. I think it's 72 or 73% of all registered users are men, whereas on Instagram, it's almost the inverse. The vast majority are women. So that's a very feminine social media platform, while YouTube is a very masculine social media platform. But it reminds me, there's this hilarious YouTube channel called Viva the Dirt League. And they're these gamer filmmakers that make fun of just hilarious things that happen in the video game world. And one of them is behold, a great brave knight, what desirest thou? And he comes to the armory, and the armorer says, what shall I give ye? And then he says, I will take the breastplate of strength. He's okay, 500 silver pence or something. And then he gets it and it goes, bloop, and he's got this big, awesome knight's breastplate on, right? And then the young woman warrior comes behind him and says I'll take one of those too. And he says, oh
yes, I've seen this.
The breastplate of strength. Okay, well, here you go. Go, bloop. And it's metallic lingerie.
Yeah,
it's
it's
in
a bikini.
video games.
And she's like,
wait,
what am I supposed to do with this?
what's that going to stop? That's not going to stop anything. It's no, it's not missing anything. No, here you go. It's the most hilarious thing. And then also there's this other one where it says when a girl joins the RPG, and it's funny. It has the men running around as though they're fighting each other in the video game, right? And then one guy comes up, he's like, oh, I'm dying, but for 30 pence, you could save me. And the guys around won't give him any money. You know what I'm saying? And then this girl comes up, she's like, oh, I've never been in this level before. Can anybody help me? And 7 dudes run over to her and just start throwing pence into her. Because she's like, oh, I don't know if I can afford the breastplate of strength. Will anybody buy this for me? And then just 7 people buy them for her. It's pretty hilarious. So the Dove's Nest, you're going to get spoiled here. You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna say I don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Wait, we got Carla, we got Jersey G, we
I
got
know.
Carolyn Wright Gaines music, we got lots of girls.
Our Relief Society is robust and
Our Relief
talented.
Society rocks.
And they rock.
Yeah.
They're just outnumbered 3-1 by dudes.
And also, we be getting the papers for our newest shipmate, Gare Bears World 101, who's getting baptized in Lebanon 3rd Ward on Saturday at 3 p.m. All ye who be joyed at this, pledge your souls by Brandon the Chat with a W.
All right, rock on.
And just to get back, so just those last things in the Discord. So Cecil DeMille Carden.
Okay, I'm going back to the Discord, bro. Going
Was
back to the
good
Discord.
buddies. Was good buddies with David O. McKay. And when he made the Ten Commandments movie, Charlton Heston was playing Moses. They invited David O. McKay.
Really?
6'4" David O. McKay in his white suit with long white hair.
Wow, look at that. Look at that,
to
bro.
come backstage. Yeah, he came backstage with Charlton Heston, and Cecil DeMille said, I wanted you to meet a real prophet so you know kind of what you're playing in the movie. And Salt Lake City was the place they premiered the movie.
Shut up, really?
Yeah, they premiered it in Salt Lake City.
The Ten Commandments was premiered in Salt Lake City?
That's right. That's right.
I didn't
They
know
knew
that.
they'd get 1 million members of the church to show up. It was big. They were good buddies for their whole lives. David O. McKay was a Chad. He was awesome.
Wow, dude. And you know what's crazy is we live near Cecil B. DeMille's original home. In fact, there's a street called Los Feliz that is the street that you take in order to get to the Griffith Observatory. That's actually original Hollywood. What people don't realize is right below the Hollywood sign is not like when people think of modern Hollywood, like North Hollywood, Hollywood proper, where you see like the Pantages and the Man Chinese and everything, like that's actually not original Hollywood. Original Hollywood is about a half mile northeast and was a residential neighborhood. That's where kind of like industrial Hollywood is, right? But the residential neighborhood where all of the OGs had their first houses, like in 4 square blocks, there's like the original house of Cecil B. DeMille, the original house of who was the other major director that did Intolerance, and he did Birth of a Nation. He's considered the father of modern editing. There's Cecil B. DeMille. There's Rudolph Valentino was a big actor. His house is right over there. It's close to the sites, unfortunately, of the murders of Charles Manson. And then, come on, who was the other big director that did Birth of a Nation? I can't believe I'm forgetting this.
Michael Bay.
No.
Yeah, didn't he do Birth of a Nation, right?
That's what I'm
Michael
talking
Bay?
about. I'm like, nah.
Pretty sure that was Michael Bay.
Yeah. So anyway, let's keep going on. Let's talk about what's going on here, man. So,
Okay. So the next thing we were excited to discuss was that the Church of Jesus Christ, I know, weird, is out Jesus Christing many of our Christian brothers and sisters whom we love.
Yeah.
By taking out by their presence in Times Square.
Whoa, look at that.
Yesterday or last weekend. The church went to Times Square and took out millions and millions of dollars worth of ads to light up, the big digital billboards.
Look at that, dude. That is epic.
Yeah, it's
pretty
amazing. Cool. And they showed Jesus Christ and the birth story and the wise men and the shepherds and all of these things for hours and hours there late at night to also advertise the new giving machines that they've put up there in Times Square. The new giving machines that the church has erected there. Yeah, you can see right there.
Wow.
They're beautiful. And the church is doing this to spread the message that Christmas is about Jesus Christ and keeping Jesus Christ the center of Christmas. The church is doing an awesome thing for Christians all over the world.
Okay, so
Nice
whose
work, Church
idea
of
was
Jesus.
that?
Yeah.
Because he's going places.
Yeah.
He's
Whose
going
idea was that, man? So, like, this is kind of what blows my mind here. All right. This is totally what blows my mind. Okay. Just today, I couldn't believe it, but just today, I was bombarded by a bunch of advertisements. Okay.
Bombarded.
I was bombarded by a bunch of advertisements. And this came up right here. This came up. Reasonable Faith said, what do many Mormons do when they conclude Mormonism is false? And it's this guy who's like all face. You know who I'm talking about? This dude right here. He did an interview with Ben Shapiro where he was kind of doing Christian apologetics and stuff like that. His real name is, I think it's William Lane Craig. Okay. He's one of the more popular online. Okay. So William Lane Craig has done a bunch of kind of like anti-Mormon stuff here. And like, for example, right now he calls himself Reasonable Faith. That's his handle. And look, here's Here's just, for example, this is the first thing I saw. I've never looked at William Lane Craig's Twitter account before ever until I see this. I'm like, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? And this is going to tie into Times Square here. I'll tell you how in a second. But here's what William Lane Craig had to say.
Perfect being theology really needs to be developed by Mormon theologians, because Mormonism has a very defective concept of God. For Mormons, God is a finite, material, humanoid being who lives on a planet in outer space and controls the universe.
And so anyway, we don't have to watch this whole entire thing with its overly dramatic music, but basically we have William Lane Craig, who purports again to be this expert on theology, just really recycling a bunch of 150-year-old just tropes. Like, it's the same as going out and saying, whoa, Jewish people really need to reconsider X, Y, or Z space laser trope, or usury and banking conspiracy trope, or whatever. And then, not expecting people to bristle and say, I don't know about that, and I'm pretty sure that's a lie. I'm pretty sure that's a stereotype. But for some reason, you can do it with Mormons. And the only thing that bothers me is, I guarantee you that dude's church either does not have the resources, or they're not spending the resources on this.
Yep.
I mean, Mormons, like, Christianity hangs by a thread in North America because the only serious sects left of the Judeo-Christian thought process that founded the West are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, aka Mormons, and Jews. Okay? Mormons doing all the heavy lifting. Okay, the Christian right made itself completely irrelevant by being this judgy, horrible, impossible to live with thing throughout the 80s and 90s that got so made fun of and so put in its place legally, politically, socially, that now the only thing it does is go tisk, 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 tisk and try and gatekeep other Christians. Make sure you keep the Catholics and the and the Mormons out of our Christian party. And we're going to tell you how unchristian you are. You're not a Christian. Never mind the only major nativity showing the Magi celebrating the birth of Christ. Was it put up by William Lane Craig? No. Was William Lane Craig, invited to the premiere of the 10 Commandments? Is hope is born, a savior is born. Like, so you're going to really tell me that our theology on Jesus Christ is bad when we're the only church right now, today in 2023, putting out massive advertisements like this saying a savior is born? That's really what you're going to say? Joy is born? Discover why? Like, what?
And it doesn't stop there. The Bible videos that we've made of Jesus, the story of Jesus Christ, the media that the church is putting out is fantastic. And this is a perfect segue to what we're trying to get into. The giving machines that the church is putting underneath this isn't just a theological, the church isn't just interested in some weird philosophical, like a auditorium at a local community college and arguing about theology. The church is channeling all of this into people giving their own money to help real people who are in need get by in the world via these giving machines. It's not that, like, that's exactly, like, Jesus Christ didn't sit around just like arguing theology with people. He hated the philosophers and in the synagogues, the doctors and lawyers. He was out serving people, meeting them where they were, and doing good works. And the church is taking those billboards, pointing everybody towards the giving machines. You can be a part of giving, and it's the church is putting the rubber to the road. It's fantastic. The giving machines this year.
So I responded.
Have almost. Oh, wait! You responded to who?
William Lane Craig.
Oh no.
It's not quite an oh no, but look, I'll put it on the screen. This is what I said. This is what I said, because he did another tweet. Like, he's really anti-Mormon this week. And he said, what do many Mormons do when they conclude Mormonism is false? Like, I love the presupposition that, like, when they conclude, it's like the assumptive salesman that just read Tony Robbins' first book about, today I give you permission to succeed and speak assuming that you'll make the sale. So you need to go and say, when you buy this car, you will be satisfied and then you will be one of us. Like, I love the assumptive sales here. Like, what do many Mormons do when they conclude Mormonism is false. Hashtag apologetics, hashtag Mormonism, right? So I'm not going to say some of the other members that obviously savaged him. One of them said something really funny. He said, I don't know, start a TikTok, which I think was really funny. Harfed Yek says they apostatized Christ, Lord God Christ 85, which I guess is some millennial born in 1985, said, we shall see. I don't think William Lane Craig got the overwhelming response he wanted to, but this is what I said. I said, LDS, parentheses, Mormon, radio host here. There's incredible data concerning exited members of the church. Unfortunately, the data and my experience suggest they do not generally go mainstream Christian, but turn atheistic and secular because, one, seductive secularism and socialism are the golden calves / Baal of our time, and two, mainstream Christianity has less answers, community, and spiritual fulfillment to offer. These are generalities, not specifics. Glad to talk anytime. He won't be calling us back. They never do. They never do. You know what I'm saying?
He's got to shed the Plato. He's got so much Plato in his blood. He's got to shed the Plato in the creeds, all those Roman creeds.
Carter, we have some super chats.
Okay, although I do have to give a shout out here to some Aaron R. Holloway. I believe Aaron Holloway is a member of our channel, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe he's just somebody that has.
Yeah, Aaron Holloway. Sure. Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Okay. So he said, I would largely agree with this. When family members have left, this is interesting. When family members have left, it's usually been to some form of either atheism or a vague form of spiritualism. I would say secularism isn't really seductive as much as seen as the only alternative, as, quote, mainstream, end quote, Christianity is as you say. And this is very interesting. Now I'm reading this live, so I hopefully didn't say something crazy because I did just put it on the screen. He says it's largely broken into three groups. One, some form of Calvinism, which at its core either embraces an evil understanding of God or a vague, fearful mysticism around God and his will, or two, Catholicism and its institutional offshoots, of which most of us reject out of an understanding of the evils of the papal institution's histories. Okay, I don't like throwing out the word evil too quickly, but he's referencing historical issues here, which I think is fine, saying rather than its current state, which is seen by most as reasonable and respectable. Okay, there he is. Yeah, he qualified it the way I would like to see it qualified. So and then he said, or three, universalists, which are usually pretty weak on doctrinal clarity. None of these are compelling when compared to the LDS institutional doctrine. Dude!
Nice work, Aaron Holloway.
Nice work, Aaron Holloway. What'd you think of that, babe? That was not the most emotional appeal. But what'd you think of that? That was a boy answer, not a girl answer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Hey, Brittany, could you just calm down a little bit? Okay.
Yeah,
just
for real.
Right.
Keep us
We're
up.
trying to
Keep us up
we're
with the
trying to
chats,
do a
babe.
podcast.
She always represents those who have given super chats, and she's so good at this. I love it. By the way, did you know in movies they call you the script girl because girls are so much more detail oriented and they like making sure that those details are fulfilled. So even anybody that talks about the glass ceiling is like full of crap, because the truth is there have been jobs that women have always been 10 times better at that men have actively pursued in those positions. And one of them is being a script supervisor, because everybody knew the attention to detail of these ladies was so superb over what the dudes were doing that they said, we'll only hire women for this position. So even in the golden days of Hollywood, they wouldn't hire men script supervisors as often as they hired females, so much so that it got to be called the script girl position. So now it's kind of funny, but you'll actually have guys on set come up to you and say, hey, can you be the script girl today? You know, so good job. Your attention to detail is impeccable, babe.
Well,
you are
that's why you earn the big bucks,
girl.
Brittany.
Yeah.
What did you say, Jonah?
That's why we pay you the big bucks.
I know. My 6-figure checks from Word Radio.
Boom shot.
Don't tell anyone.
I'll talk to Russell M. Nelson, make sure he pays you double.
Perfect.
Cool. Let's keep going, babe.
Stephen Diamonds. Oh, for you, Jonah. Jonah, should I get the Nag Hammadi library? I probably butchered that.
No, it's the Nag Hammadi library.
Nag
Hammadi library.
Okay. I already have the Dead Sea Scrolls, Aquinas selected writings, and St. Augustine confessions.
Ooh.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. So the Nag Hammadi library is a little, it's got more landmines in it than the Dead Sea Scrolls. So you got to be a little more careful with what you're pulling out of there. You'll know it. I mean, some of the books in the Nag Hammadi library, you open up and in the first page, it's like, here are the names of the 24,000 angels that guard the gates, and blah, 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 and it just starts listing off these crazy.
Wait, but
like,
isn't the Nag
heck?
Hammadi library considered part of the Dead Sea Scrolls? Because though not part of the original library found, the word Dead Sea or the phrase Dead Sea Scrolls now pretty much encompasses all of the ancient Israelite discoveries of the modern era of ancient papyrian writings, right? Of which the Nag Hammadi library is. I mean, it was found in the 40s. The Dead Sea Scrolls were in the 1890s or the 1870s, but they're all kind of together. Just like Christianity has a bunch of denominations, isn't the Nag Hammadi library just a denomination, for lack of a better term, of the Dead Sea Scrolls?
If people are calling it that colloquially, that's fine. That's fair. I'm not going to try to gatekeep the terms or whatever, but the differences are, there are big differences. So the Qumran library, if you want to call it the Qumran library, or the collection, does have ancient Hebrew writings, ancient Israelite writings. The Nag Hammadi library does not. The Nag Hammadi library is mostly Christian writings, Gnostic writings from after the death of Jesus Christ. So they overlap somewhat, but the Nag Hammadi library, you're going to get a lot of Gnosticism. But there's some really good books. The Gospel of Philip is cool. The Gospel of Thomas, you got to go check that out. But you can find all of it, well, not all, most of it online for free. So is this Stephen Diamond asking about this?
Yeah.
Stephen Diamond. So Stephen, go check it out online, the Nag Hammadi library. Gospel of Philip, Gospel of Thomas. I'm trying to think what else is in the Nag Hammadi library. There's some solid ones. There's also some wacky ones, the landmines. But you're going to know it in the first page. You're going to know this is cray-cray, and move on. Just make sure you read with the Spirit, and always tune into Word Radio for the absolute truth.
Okay, cool. Hey, speaking of absolute truths, I was looking up on Wikipedia, and it said the 10 Commandments in 1956 was released in New York, man. Was it was it the West Coast release was in Salt Lake City, or what was the deal with
what was it?
The 10 Commandments?
Okay, while you're looking that up, I'm going to keep
us
going.
up on the chats. Yeah, keep us up on the super chats.
Rex Good says, "Hail to the keepers of the chats."
Oh, it's your boy Rex Good.
I've been unwell lately and heavily burdened with keeping my business running. I'm sorry to hear that,
bummer,
Rex.
Man.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, dude, we'll include you in our prayers, bro. You're a good guy, dude. We want to see you excelling. Sobresaliente, as we say, my friend.
Or maybe Rex selling.
Look at that. I like that one, brother.
Okay, Rex Good has another chat. He says, by the way, Cecil B. DeMille, is that how you say it?
Cecil B. DeMille.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Said to David O. McKay, almost, although thou persuadest me to be a Mormon.
Get out of town. Almost thou persuadest me to be a Mormon. Oh, that's hilarious. That's a good reference to, hey, what's that a reference to, babe? Come on, boom.
I'm not entirely sure. You're
not entirely sure. That is the Apostle Paul, not in front of Caesar, but in front of not Herodotus. That's the philosopher. It was Agrippa. That was it. It was Caesar in front of Agrippa who said, almost thou persuadest me to be a Christian.
Yes, and Cecil B. DeMille received an honorary degree from BYU at 1957 commencement, where he said that quote, and he did not premiere the movie, he previewed the movie.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, cool. Wow, that is awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
50s Salt Lake City, where you got all the great filmmakers. By the way, speaking of previews, you know what's crazy? Salt Lake City was one of the first cities where Star Wars was previewed. I think it was the first city where Star Wars was previewed. And one of my friends was walking down the street one day. He was from Bountiful, and they had ridden their bikes back when you could ride your bikes on Highway 89 to get into Salt Lake City. And there was a theater there that said, for free, if you want to give us your opinion on this movie, you can watch this, sci-fi movie that they're kind of trying to get a feel for. And he saw the first picture cut, which is now hard to find. They had to fire the first editor and get a different editor. The first picture cut is actually kind of this apocryphal cut now that supposedly people have like VHS videos of and stuff like that. I'm sure they've uploaded it to YouTube and things along those lines. You can probably get it on Live Leak somewhere. But anyway, he was literally the first theater on the first day of the first preview of Star Wars. And it was
Whoa.
it was before the release. It was where you got to like. And he said we walked out of the theater. We thought, hey, that was pretty cool. Yeah, we really like that. Not realizing he was in the first theater of at least one of the first theaters. I have to double check these dates and all these facts because I don't have it had to have been 1976, I think 1977. I don't remember the exact year that Star Wars came out, but I know that he was in the first theater of the first showing of the first preview of Star Wars. How cool is that, dude?
Jeez.
Yeah.
Hope he kept his ticket stub.
Yeah,
Wow.
for real, man. That'd be awesome. Of course, pop quiz, Reed Moon has the working script of the very first Star Wars, and it was not called Star Wars. Do you remember the working title of Star Wars? It is a cringy title, bro.
Wasn't it like the Adventures of Luke Starkiller?
Yeah,
something?
The Adventures of Lucas the Star Killer. And it was like,
it was Lucas.
Yeah, it was like Luke the Star Killer. I have a picture on my phone. I'll have to pull it up. But yeah, it was like The Adventures of Luke the Star Killer. And it was like that's a cringy title.
I like Star Wars.
Star
better.
Wars versus The Adventures of Luke the Star Killer. You know what that reminds me of?
What?
Mormon versus member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had to do that one. I had to say it. It had to be said. But it's true. So,
Okay, are you ready for this
yes.
super chat?
Yep. more
From
super chats.
the Dove's Nest.
Go Dove's
She
Nest.
says Magi equals Nephi, Lehi, sons of Helaman, and Samuel the Lamanite. Fun rabbit hole.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, let's noodle on that one for a while, you know?
Let's noodle.
How can we make that one work? Where in the Apocrypha does it support this? Where in the Apocrypha does it support this?
Samuel the Lamanite was on the wall. Well, we don't know where he went, right? Samuel the Lamanite was here. He was here. And then all of a sudden he vanishes for 6 years. And, you know, it would take about 6 years to get on a boat and sail across the Atlantic from Kentucky back to, you know, the land of Jerusalem, to Bethlehem, to visit the boy Jesus. I think that's a pretty solid theory.
That's only if you subscribe to the Mesoamerican model. I'm an enlightened Heartlander. No, actually, I can't do the stupid woke speech because they're not mean woke people. You know,
you channel those guys pretty well sometimes. I'm amazed at how you sum up the ex-Mormon subreddit quite well.
Yeah, dude. I have myriad interactions with these people, so it's not too hard. Okay, cool. And then, dude, we got so much more in the Discord. Let's keep going, man. Brittany, are we caught up on all the
there's a
super
couple.
chats?
Stephen Diamond just slipped in a super chat. He said, "We need to do a Star Wars video when you're here." I agree. I love Star Wars. I love Harry Potter.
It's all gospel. Yeah, it's all gospel. I mean, the Star Wars is just George Lucas is a sleeper saint. We all know it.
Now,
but
really quick, just tell us what these giving machines are, bro. I'm looking at these links that you sent, and this is some incredible stuff, bro.
Yeah, so the giving machines are brilliant, okay? Because what happens is people give charity to. Oh, by the way, sorry, just want to add something. People in the chat, you know, you can mute people.
Oh,
you can just mute. Just chat. Just so you know, guys, it can make it a much more pleasant viewing experience. You can just mute Luke or mute Chris Murphy or whatever you do, and leave the rest to us if you want to do that. Also, make sure you like the stream. Go ahead and like the stream, guys. But the giving machines. So the church, this is brilliant, okay? Because if the church took all our money and just gave it to other charities or gave it to countries to distribute to the people or even fed people with it, it would not do as much good as if you enlisted regular people to give their own money and to see the fruits of their labor, the fruits of their giving. It is a genius idea. The giving machines are next level charity. And so there's a big red vending machine. They put it in major cities. People can walk up and it shows little cards that display 1 goat or 2 chickens or warm clothing or a week's stay at a domestic
or I'm looking at
shelter.
eye exams here or school shoes.
Yep.
I mean, this is incredible. This is prolific.
How can
this
you
is great.
find these giving machines?
So, okay. We'll get it. But first, there's lots of organizations that try to do this stuff. Okay. And just and many of them are well intended, but most of them suck.
Well,
Okay?
look, there's
Most
a map
charities-
here.
Yeah, most charities are not good at this. The church covers all the overhead costs for doing this stuff. So all of your money goes directly to that charity. They have expanded it. Last year they had 23 giving machines. Now they have 61 giving machines across the world. You can see they've got some in Australia and the Philippines, all across the United States. So you can go and just Google this stuff and find out where they are near you.
Okay, but there's
and go
not
see
one
the
in
giving
LA.
machines.
Yeah,
The
this is
closest
kind
one
of
is
crazy.
Huntington Beach.
I was looking at this and I'm like, okay, so they've got one south of Anaheim by where Disneyland is, but Huntington Beach. You know what? Maybe when next time Brad and Kwaku and you are down here, we should go check out the giving machine. They put it in a nice neighborhood, that's for sure. I mean,
I know, but like,
they're
why
not gonna
would
have
you
a problem.
put one in LA? Huntington Beach.
Dude, I don't know if. Well, they obviously can't put them everywhere, and they probably put them wherever they thought it was the easiest. And there's probably some rich donor in Huntington Beach that said, "Get one here," and then they've got one all the way down in San Clemente. What an odd place to be in Dana Point. That's not a huge population center.
Well,
though.
and those two are pretty close to each other. Like, spread it out.
Yeah, but hey, look, they're starting. I'm sure it's
Okay,
gonna
whatever.
come. I'm sure
Whatever.
it's gonna come. But look, where's the rest of these ones? That's the only ones really on the West Coast. They got a couple in Vegas. They got one up in Sacramento, and then they got one up in Modesto, in the middle of a tiny town.
They have one in Portland that I'm going to with my youth when it opens up in a few weeks. We're all going to go down there and donate some things through the giving machines. It's going to be an awesome activity for our youth. So,
wow, that's cool, man. Okay, so we got to check out these giving. So how long have these giving machines been out, man?
some of them, they roll out different times. So some of them are probably rolling out right now. I think Times Square was 2 days ago. I think it finally rolled out. But like the one up here in Portland won't open for another 3 weeks or so, and they'll run after Christmas. Some of them, each giving machine has to get permission from the city and permits and all those things to put a display up and all that stuff.
I was about to say that might explain why there's not one in Los Angeles. They're probably on their 7th out of 14 permits necessary to get a giving machine somewhere in LA city limits. So I'm going to read what else you put in the Discord here. That's pretty interesting. Apparently the machines have 1,200 unique items available across all locations. These goods and services were requested by carefully screened and reputable local and international nonprofits. These include meals, groceries, shelter, clothing, healthcare, education, bedding, hygiene kits, job and career training, crops and livestock such as chickens, goats, pigs, ducks, sheep, and beehives. Patrons can type in 777 to purchase one of everything in a machine. In 2022, donations to giving machines provided 2.2 million meals. Wow, that's Mormons really need to rethink their religion and their theology, according to William Lane Craig. Never mind, James literally says pure religion, undefiled before God, is visiting the widows and the sick in their affliction. Where the hell are your giving machines, freaking William Lane Craig?
Yes, that's the point. That's the point. This is true religion, William Lane Craig. Get it out of your head. Put it in your hands.
So he's telling us how our doctrine is not pure enough to save. It's not pure unto salvation. It's a foolish sky daddy. I love it how Trent Horn says, believers shan't argue like atheists. And William Lane Craig just can't help but argue like an atheist when it comes to Mormons. And it's so sad because he could be so respectful when it's Jews like Ben Shapiro. He could be so respectful when it's other supposed Christians that have nothing else in common other than they believe Catholics and Mormons are mistaken. You know, he can get out there with Vadi Beauchamp, and just like have a great sit down. But, oh, heaven forbid, he be seen on the same stage with the people that are flooding Times Square with advertisements that say a savior is born. Yeah, those guys, the people saying a savior is born, the people saying hope is born, joy is born, discover why. Yeah, those people, they really need to rethink their theology. Those people have the Magi strutting down Broadway. Those people need to rethink their theology. Oh yeah, those people dumping 1,200 giving machines out there so that people can get a chicken for the first time, so people can get a meal for the first time. The people dotting the globe with charity, yeah, those people, they really need to rethink their theology.
Where do we donate these chickens? Because I have like 3 that I'm willing to get rid of. They're mean.
We got a bad batch of
Who wants a Ward Radio chicken?
Yeah. That's what. Hey, JTD223, just put a really cool emoji I've never seen in the chat before. See that little like ooh with the big eyes emoji? I've never seen that one before. You ever seen that?
I don't know.
That's
So
Like
guys,
rad.
Fraggle Rock.
If Jesus Christ appeared in Times Square, you know what he would say? He would look at the wealth. He would look at the decadence of our society, and he'd say, I have starving children all over the world. Give some of your money to these poor children all over the world who are starving. The giving machines is exactly what Jesus Christ would want us to do this holiday season. It is Christmas. It's perfect. I love the giving machines. So
Yeah.
if you go to a giving machine, Carla, if you go to a giving machine, or anybody out there, if you find one, take a photograph of yourself by the giving machine, send it to Ward Radio. We'll put it up in a stream later this month or something.
Yeah, dude, we'll make it work. We'll make it work. Yeah, but I just got to tell you, I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed to be part of a theologically, what did he say? What did William Lane Craig said? A theologically derelict or a theologically, what did he say? Come on.
We're not Platonic enough for him. He wants Plato.
No,
He
here it
wants
is.
us to
Let's
be
play
Greek.
it again. No, you know what we have to do? Excuse me, that AMW root beer almost got to me here. I'm going to play this and we're going to see how it juxtaposes with all the charity we just saw. Like, I'm just going to play
Perfect
this.
being theology
So here we go.
really needs to be developed by Mormon theologians, because Mormonism has a very defective concept of God.
Defective concept.
Yeah, so here we are. Okay, so Mormonism has a very defective concept of God. And let's just do an audit really fast. The three magi walking through Times Square, super defective concept of God. Oh yeah, discover why a savior is born, super defective concept of God. Oh, heaven forbid, they might actually be putting a bunch of giving machines out there that are giving chickens to families that are malnourished in South America, giving eye exams to kids who can't see straight. Oh, jump ropes and school shoes and textbooks for any inner city children who may not have the same funding that other lucky families in other more wealthy areas do. Like,
This is somebody who's never read the book of James.
Yeah.
I mean, William Lane Craig, have you ever read the second chapter of James? Maybe give it a read. I love how he says they really need to develop perfect God, or what was it? Perfect deity doctrine. You know what we don't need? We don't need to develop any doctrine. This Roman, like, you guys really need this creed in your church. Yeah, you know what? For 2,000 years, you've been seeping creeds into people's Christian churches, and they all suck. So no, thank you. Actually, no, thank you, please. We'll stick to just doing the work of the Son and the Father.
Okay, we never let him finish. Let's see what William Lane Craig had to say, and then we'll go back to the super chats.
God has a very Mormon theologians, because Mormonism has a very defective concept of God. For Mormons, God is a finite, material, humanoid being who lives on a planet in outer space.
Okay, not only is that a crappy straw man argument of our concept of apotheosis, but let me tell you, to the child of God who is in South America, whose life would be greatly improved by a couple of chickens coming out of a giving machine so that she can feed her family better, for the child who has trouble seeing quite clearly, or needs an extra jump rope, or needs an extra textbook, or whose school has unfortunately been defunded because of X, Y, or Z stupid thing, to that kid, William Lane Craig, they don't give a crap about whether or not our God has a body, or whether or not he's some weird ice / steam / water triune spirit, okay? At the end of the day, they need books. At the end of the day, they need bread. At the end of the day, they need an eye exam, dog. Nobody gives a crap how perfect your theology is if it's never put into practice. You are a modern Sadducee, William Lane Craig, and your religion is garbage. Your religion is garbage if it does not spur you to action. And if Mormons are guilty of anything, it's action. You make fun of our missionaries, but what are they? They are men in action. We empower 60,000 young people every single freaking year to go out at their own expense and volunteer. What have you volunteered for? Millionaire William Lane Craig, who makes money telling people their religions are lesser than yours? You're crap, dude.
Now, William Lane Craig spends most of his time fighting atheists, which is usually good. But
okay,
look,
my first experience with him was on Ben Shapiro's podcast, where I was like, okay, like he's playing, like I actually liked him there. Then I watched some other stuff of his. I was like, okay, this is okay. The dude is all face. Like he missed his calling as like a matinee idol in the 60s for like late night TV or like, you know, reading news articles or something. But then like my third experience with him is this freaking anti-Mormon rabbit hole. I'm like, all right, dude, you lost me. Get out of here. You're full of crap, dude. You're like the Sadducees that pontificate about how perfect their understanding of religion is. Meanwhile, Jesus Christ is out healing people and you're going to tell Jesus Christ that he's wrong. Like William Lane Craig is an utter modern day Sadducee.
Well, yeah, and you know, better to have a defective faith than to have a dead faith.
Yeah, and by the way, at worst, William Lane Craig, and let me tell you, he won't respond to this. They're all cowards. They always are. They only like operating from safe ground and territory. William Lane Craig, you know, if worst comes to worst, bro, we are your Sadducees. And what were some of the biggest parables taught about Jesus Christ?
Samaritans.
Sorry, no, we're not your Sadducees. You're right. We are your Samaritans. William Lane Craig, at the end of the day, if worse comes to worse, we are your Samaritans. And what did Jesus Christ have to say about the Samaritans and the way Jews treated the Samaritans? Who was the first person to recognize the divinity of Jesus Christ? Was it actually a Jew? Was it one of the called apostles? Was it one of the family members of Jesus Christ? Arguably, it was his mother. Okay, but the first person outside of his household to recognize his divinity, okay, was who? The Samaritan woman at the well who said, "Thou art the Christ." Before Peter says it, the Samaritan woman at the well recognizes. By the way, who was the perfect example of charity? Taking care of the men, binding his wounds, the man who had fallen victim to thieves. Who was it? Was it the Pharisee? Was it Gamaliel? Was it Nicodemus? No, it wasn't. It was the Good Samaritan. You know, we should stop calling him William Lane Craig. We should call him William Nicodemus Craig. We should just call him Nicodemus.
You know, Jacob Hansen, our buddy, is a huge fan of William Lane Craig. Actually.
Jacob Hansen
I'm curious what he thinks.
Fool. He is a fool if he's a big friend of William Lane Craig's. Because I got to tell you, actually, who knows? Maybe I'll read a bunch more of William Lane Craig, and I'll be like, okay, fine. You're not a total idiot. You know, just a half idiot. But I don't know, dude. I'm unimpressed, and I hate it. You have to realize, I grew up in the shadow of John MacArthur. I grew up in the shadow of a bunch of institutions that I won't name because there's good evangelicals out there and I don't want to besmirch an entire institution. But I've had these people show up to my chapel to interrupt services because they're not testifying. That's our word that we use. They're witnessing to Mormons. Do you know what it's like to have a freaking sacrament meeting interrupted by an evangelical who wants to holler about how you're all going to hell? Do you know what it's like to be surrounded by a bunch of evangelicals that say, "Oh, you're not going to Bible study with us. You're not Mormon." And they start literally, my first experiencing Bible bashing was freshman year. Like I show up freshman year of high school. I can't go a semester into my high school before the freaking evangs know who I am and want to tell me how I'm going to hell. And by the way, did you know Joseph Smith was really just a treasure digger and you just believe in a sky daddy and you're selling real estate in Uranus because you believe that your space station daddy is going to, it's like, how, like, go away, leave me alone. You know? So yeah, I might be carrying a little bit of baggage. Anyway, super chats, babe, hit us.
Okay. Trevor Larson says, fact, ancient Israelites believed in embodied gods.
Absolutely true.
Really? Back that up, Jonah.
Absolutely true.
Yeah,
Jonah. They did. That was one of the great controversies of the 8th century, and King Josiah and the Deuteronomists. It was one of the great controversies. Some people theorize that that's one of the things that Lehi said that got him in hot water with everybody, is that he was talking about the corporeal nature of God, and that the Messiah, the need for a Messiah, and that ran afoul of the authorities of the day. So, and that's not. It's not a theory that the ancient Israelites believed in the body of God. We all know that they did. They believed that God himself had to come down and push the door of the ark closed. I mean, they believed God himself sewed the garments for Adam and Eve in the garden with his own hands. I mean, I just look, I mean, William Lane Craig, our God has hands to serve his children with. Your God doesn't. So neener.
Yeah. You just got a good
Anyway.
solid neener from
I
Jonah
haven't
Barnes.
said neener in I don't know how long, but I want to bring that back now.
Yeah.
Neener.
Oh yeah, bring it
We're
back.
gonna bring it back. All right, dude. We're coming in the last 5 minutes here. We're already into overtime.
Okay,
Here.
last 5 minutes. I want to throw some new things in the. This is original content here. I'm going to throw this in.
Okay, cool. We're gonna do it. We're gonna check
I
it out.
exceeded the file size. Oh,
Do we need to drum roll? You don't pay for Discord Nitro, bro, and it's exceeded the file size?
Shoot. Well, shoot. That kind of. Okay. I threw two pictures in the Discordian, and are we going to mention the other Discord? We have a community Discord now.
I guess. Well, now you already mentioned it, so I guess we're gonna have to here.
Oh,
have you?
Sorry.
Oh my gosh, these are the pictures of your break-in, bro.
Yeah, and I
Look
have a
at
video,
that.
and it's too big a file to get in there. But
Look at that, bro, dude.
yeah, so to catch people up, there were some break-ins in Utah just a few months ago around Hurricane, Utah. 20 chapels were broken into. And up here where I live, around Portland, Oregon-ish area, there are 5 stakes. One stake center is out in the boondocks, and one stake center is very, very well lit on a major road. But the other 3 stake centers, all 3 of them were broken into in the same night. And they drove past 100 Christian churches between these stake centers to come to our stake centers and break every door, rip through cabinets, every desk, and essentially steal nothing because there's nothing to steal.
Wait, what do you
I
mean
was gonna say,
steal nothing?
What do you
That
think they're
says-
going after?
No, it says finance. Come on, this has to have been identity theft related. They must have been trying to get social security numbers for people that have been on welfare in order to try and steal the identity of old people who are about to die, because that's a big thing. If you can get
Really?
yeah, if
Carter, you were so dark.
Oh no,
Jeez.
it's not that I'm so dark. I was a private investigator in New York City, bro. I've heard every single
That's
way
true,
of
that's
making money, okay? No, if you can steal the identity of an old person who has recently died or is about to die and continue to receive their social security payments, it's a big problem. In fact, that's why you see the Medicare fraud commercials that say, if you or anybody that's engaged in Medicare fraud, like old people, Medicare, Medicaid, and identity theft fraud is a real thing, because you can also receive our social security overseas. When I served my mission in Argentina, there was a woman who, upon the death of her husband, moved back with her family in Argentina, and she was getting that $800, $900 check, which back then, with the 3-to-1 peso to dollar exchange rate, if you're receiving both Argentinian Social Security and American Social Security, you're living functionally on a $6,000 a month wage. That's a $72,000 a year fixed income. You're living like a king in Argentina, right? So a lot of these government programs that really just rely on somebody's identity, a signature, and randomized fact checking of large groups, man, if you can be sneaking 7 years worth of checks for 12 different people out of the country, you've effectively made the U.S. government your cash cow. And that doesn't surprise me that the very first and biggest crowbar opened filing cabinet inside of your church, Target, was the finance box. Yeah.
Well,
and then,
so what they did is they hit stake centers, and they knew what the stake centers were, because they didn't just hit random chapels, and they didn't hit. In order to get between our stake centers here, you have to drive by about 100 churches that all of them have donation boxes and
but that's not where the money's at. This is an inside job. This is some of John Dehlin buddies, man. This is ex-Mormon, anti-Mormon here, because who else would know how? Who else would know where? And who else would understand the value thereof?
Wow. Shoot. Well,
this is an anti-Mormon ex-Mormon, dude.
Crap. Well, maybe you're right.
You
Jeez,
know,
we couldn't figure it out because
I would bet my bottom dollar. I'd bet my bottom dollar that you're only 2 steps removed. 2 steps removed. The guy that held that crowbar is only 2 steps removed from John Dehlin and the Mormon Stories podcast. Guaranteed.
Because, dude, we've been racking our brains up here trying to figure out why would they do. There's cash in.
How have you been racking your
churches.
brains, bro? You showed me 2 pictures, and I know exactly who did this, dog. You got. The finance cabinet was hit in the stake center. Yeah, who makes the big financial decisions for the Mormon church? Is it the little bishops that approve some local bishop storehouse canned goods? Or the guys that are approving rental payments? Are the dudes that are approving all of the welfare and the people that have access to the social security numbers and TIN numbers and ID numbers of the church? Are those the big hitters like the stake presidents in the presidency's office? Yes, so of course they're going to hit. If you're going for information, you go after the finance boxes, and information can make you more money than cash can. You know, come on, bruh.
Dude. Well, dude, look, I wasn't a private investigator in New York, okay?
No, I'm just a bad person that's held together by his Mormonism. And this ain't the PI talking. It's the bad person.
Got a little bit of God, a little bit of mammon, you know?
No.
Get along.
I can only know so I only know the strategies of these people so badly. I can only talk John Dehlin because I'm a bad person inside, just like him. I just don't act on it.
Yeah, well,
They're telling me this now.
Yeah, sorry, you're stuck for eternity, babe. You're stuck for eternity.
You're sealed to him.
You married a bad person. I am fallen. It is true.
Great.
But no, actually, I would like to think that though all of us have these bad ideas, it is our internal decisions, whether or not to act on them, that separate the men from the boys, and not giving in to anger, not giving in to lust, into jealousy, into pride, into vanity, and all those other 7 sins. I hopefully have distinguished myself from others who have not made those same decisions, and will in turn use my knowledge and what I have gained from my Christianity to help others who still are indeed struggling.
Okay, ready for a super chat?
Super chat time. Boom, shot.
Okay, Polly Nikes 2000 says,
Polly Nikes!
Cardin, have you seen the new Matt Riff Natural Selection Netflix comedy special yet?
Oh, so Matt Rife.
Oh, Rife.
He's the one that did MILF and Cookies.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, MILF and Cookies is a hilarious stand-up routine where there was this hot mom in the first row of the, I think I've showed it to you. She gave him a shirt that says, "Oh, I came to Iowa and all I got was X." And he was like, "Oh, you're a hot mom." He joked around, and then he saw a picture of his daughter, and she was like, "It's a super hot daughter." And he was like, "Oh, I want to date her first and then date you." And and then she made him cookies, and then he made these.
This is making me uncomfortable.
It was because I'm not doing a good job of representing his humor. Matt Rife should be a supermodel, but instead he became a comedian. And MILF and Cookies, I think, was the best stand-up of 2022. Might have happened in 2023. No, it was the best stand-up of 2023. Yeah. So anyway, he got in some hot water, I believe, for making some transgender jokes, I think, David Chappelle style, in his last Netflix stand-up special.
Okay, well, maybe that's what this is, Natural Selection. Anyway, he wants to know if you've seen it, and can he get a future review, please?
Okay, we'll put a review together. I got to watch the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? And that's, I think that happened like 2 or 3 weeks ago, so it's not fresh on my memory. Also, I didn't watch the whole thing. Okay, I read some news articles, and I think I might have seen some clips. I can't remember before I opined on it or something that controversial. I have to rewatch it, but I don't mind rewatching it. I'll do it for you, bro. Boom. All right. Who's next? 1 more minute. We got 2 more minutes. What else are we talking about here? Nothing. We all
Any
good?
more super chats?
No more super chats to catch up on?
Just wanted to say for Chris Murphy and for Luke and for all those antis out there, if your buddies are planning on breaking into any chapels, just want to make a few things clear. I did audits for the stake when I was on the High Council my last stake. There has never been an organization safer and more prudent with its money than the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Most donations are online anyways. So you're never going to find, and Social Security numbers and banking information is going to be extraordinarily rare. And like to sit in the church overnight, if you were to find that would be a 1 in a trillion chance you're going to find identity theft worthy information in in a chapel like that. And these idiots broke into every room. Any room that had a lock on it, they ripped open, like the scout storage closet. They crowbarred it up. It cost a lot of money to replace all those doors and everything in that chapel, and they got zero out of it. So just stereotypically like you would think those ex-Mos and anti-Mos would be, they're just idiots. They're vandals and they're idiots. They didn't get jack squat out of it.
You know what? Speaking of Chris Murphy, Talmadge Sell just gave us a really good super chat. Brittany, read it. What does he say?
Okay, he said, what should we get Chris Murphy for Christmas?
Oh, what should we get Chris?
A
Pirate Bible.
A life. Oh, be nice. It's Christmas. Let me see.
So what am I saying? We are his life. We already got him his life.
A Pirate Bible.
No, we got to be nice. It's Christmas. It's Christmas. Yeah, you know what? A Pirate Bible.
Pirate Bible.
We're going to get Chris Murphy a Pirate Bible. And you know what I'm going to do, Chris? Just for you, buddy? Because love us or hate us, you have driven these algorithms so far into space, my man. I have a special place in my heart for Chris Murphy. I wish he were a member. It'd be a little bit easier to swallow his hysteria if he were a member. And once upon a time, Chris was a member, but then he stopped. What's happening to us, Chris? Where are we going?
We should write our testimonies in the Pirate Bible and then mail it to Chris Murphy.
So, Chris, I want you back. I want you back. I miss us. And we're gonna have to get poor Chris a Pirate Bible. In fact, I can't think of a better, but I'm gonna make the missionaries deliver it to his house. You hear that, Chris?
Yes.
You hear that, Chris? Of course, I don't know if I'd want to wish Chris upon those missionaries. He's probably thinking, yes, please. You know what I said? He's like, send the weak young new flesh to speak to my cynical self.
Chris Murphy, we got a bone to pick with you because you're all over our comment section saying that we delete comments. Brah.
Yeah, that's weird.
We don't delete comments, brah. So
although
he's always
he does,
they're deleting my comments. Like,
I get that all the time, and it's really kind of weird. I think I can count on 2 fingers. Okay, no, there was one guy. It might have been a different account for Luke. There was 2 Lukes. There was like a Luke with a bunch of numbers, and I gave him a 24-hour warning. He was literally making fun of M. Russell Ballard when he died, and I just have a thing with you don't insult the dead. You know what I'm saying? Like, just when they're not there to defend themselves. And he said some really cruel and crass things about M. Russell Ballard, who I didn't even like. It's like my butt wasn't riveted to the chair saying, "Oh, when is M. Russell Ballard coming and talking? When is M. Russell Ballard coming and talking?"
Oh, I love M. Russell Ballard.
I know. I'm not saying I didn't love him. I mean, I'm not saying I disliked him. I'm just saying he was just another apostle, right? But don't disrespect the dead like that, especially somebody whose record is unimpeachable in service. Whether you disagree with his theology, the fact that he was working in all but an unpaid position for the majority of his life is unimpeachable. His service to his fellow man is unimpeachable. Get the heck out of here. So I gave him 24 hours or else I'd block him. And then, actually, you know what? I still need to block him because I didn't see him apologize for it. I said, you have 24 hours to apologize for this or erase it or I block you. So there was a Luke that I blocked and then Nathan Bigler. Nathan Bigler got blocked. Yeah, he was saying some cruel and psycho things. The
only thing you can't, you can't copy and paste. Look, antis.
Yeah, they spam porn in the chat. Yeah, they do.
You need to get some fresh material, guys. There's plenty to make fun of. Come on.
Yeah, that was a big problem when we did This Is the Show. The first thing the anti-Mormons did was flood the chat with porn links to try and
classy.
It was super classy. And so anyway, it's just like imagine if it's the guys, it's the people that think it's funny to put bacon strips or cheeseburgers on the steps of a synagogue. You know, it's like if that were done to Jews, it would be called anti-Semitic. But if it's done to us, it's okay. You know, so yeah, these people are cruel, they're filthy, they're dirty, and they're the small sliver. I always say I'm a free speech purist. However, you can't post porn, death videos, or like really heinous stuff like that. Unfortunately, if you say just like objectively cruel things, I don't even care if you're a reaction addict who is just crap posting. Like I even allow crap posting on my channel that you can see here, right? But unfortunately, it was Luke and Nathan Bigler, I think, were the only people that have ever actually been blocked from our channel. All the rest, oh no, and then on my Twitter account, that Cultural Hall psychopath.
Oh yeah, that guy's nuts.
Yeah, he was nuts. So
Nuts
yeah,
guy.
I've only blocked 3 people in my entire internet career. And what's funny is I was a radio host. I was what was ostensibly a conservative radio host in Los Angeles, the most liberal city in the West Coast. I was attacked while broadcasting like twice, okay? And I haven't met more violent, threatening, crazy, and cynical people in my life until I started talking about Mormon issues, because anti-Mormons are literally just crazy, toxic people. And it's a kind of toxicity that is literally unparalleled, at least in my experience. So much so it's kind of crazy, but a bunch of us have been reached out to by Jubilee Media. This is the last thing I'll say before we go. Jubilee Media is that media group. They got 8-9 million subscribers, and they do those videos that say like, oh, gay Christian versus traditional Christian.
Oh yeah,
progressive Christian versus progressive Jew versus Orthodox Jew, you know? And they try and have people say like, oh, take one step forward if you feel like the Confederate flag should stay. Oh, take one step forward. They try and tackle controversial issues, get people to talk in the middle. Some of them might just be cynical clickbait. Some of them might be a noble effort. I don't know, but I was reached out to by a producer of theirs. I gave a bunch of names and numbers to other pro-LDS content people. And what's funny is everybody they've talked to has talked to me afterwards and brought up a really interesting point. When I spoke to the producer that will remain nameless, because I'm still in contact with these people trying to help them out with their project, they said, you know, we didn't have any trouble finding anti-Mormons, but it's been really, really hard to get pro-LDS people, despite the fact that so many are pro-LDS. And I told her, I said, do you want to know why? And she said, why? I said, I can't speak for everybody, but I can tell you. Why would you guess? Why would you guess that they're having so much trouble finding pro-LDS voices? Is it because they don't exist? Or is it because they understand what they're getting into?
Yeah, because that's like, if I were to do that, I know that my business would be burnt to the ground.
Yeah.
Like if I put my name out there on some video and was arguing with these anti-Mormons, I would be legitimately afraid that my business would get a brick through the window or my car would get set on fire. Like these are not stable people.
John Dehlin doxed his own sister. His own sister. If your own family is not off the table because your anti-Mormonism goes that hard in your bloodstream, right? What is nothing sacred? It's like, and just like you say, wow, my whole business, like there's nothing that is off limits for these people. You're literally dealing with spiritual terrorism, you know, like they don't think that, like I had friends that were Marines. I'll never forget this. I had a friend who came back from Iraq and he said, the moment where I realized, where I stopped thinking, I forced myself. I don't want to put words in his mouth because this is a very controversial thing that I'm going to say. So I'm going to paraphrase here and try and represent the feeling, not the exact words, because I don't want to mischaracterize what he said. But he said, the moment I went from being a liberal, thinking that we're here to change hearts and minds, to realizing, dude, we need to just get rid of every one of these terrorist leaders and just kill them all. You know what I'm saying? Like the moment he went from thinking warm fuzzies to, no, I am a practical warrior against these people now, was he said a child ran up to them. A child ran up to them with a hand grenade and literally said, here. It was like a 5-year-old, and then asked for candy. And fortunately, the Marines were able to jump on the kid and grab him and keep the pin in the hand grenade, however it was made. They recognized it was like an old Soviet hand grenade or something. But they were able to keep the pin in the hand grenade, right? And then repin it and then stop the kid and interrogate him and say, who told you this? And he said, the people over there. And he used the word, I don't know the linguistics. They had a translator there, of course. I don't speak Middle Eastern language. Okay, but he said, yeah, those men over there told me if I gave you this, you'd give me candy. Because it's very well known that, you know, the soldiers will pass out candy. So there was literally a terrorist who has such low level sanctity for a child's life that he would give a child a hand grenade to go hand to some American soldiers. Because in his mind, he's thinking, oh, I sacrificed one kid, might take out 3 soldiers. Oh, now that adds up. It's like that is a mental illness, a sickness, a depravity, and an evil that is I'm not going to go as far as Brigham Young and say that some sins cannot be atoned for except for in other ways, but I can see where the reasoning comes from. If you got to deal with people like that too often, I can see why you might start thinking that way. So like, I mean, like it's literally anti-Mormons. They've descended into this emotional terrorism. You don't believe me? Just go read ex-Mormon subreddit. All right. The things they say in the ex-Mormon subreddit have said about Jews would be considered wildly anti-Semitic and shut down as neo-Nazi hate speech. Okay. But it's not, because, Mormons are the new kids on the block and the world hasn't figured it out. And unfortunately, it hasn't converted yet into widespread mainstream violence in the modern era. It did with the Mormon extermination order and it did with the Mormon war, but that was still U.S. versus foreign entities because we weren't adopted into the state yet. I'm afraid that until factional violence breaks out, and there is an anti-Mormon who feels justified in the name of pro-LGBTQ rights or in the name of defending women or the name of whatever, goes SH on the congregation, that it won't be taken seriously until then. But I mean, we have already normalized, and these are the words of Brett Weinstein, not me. Brett Weinstein just had a great interview with Dave Rubin that I recommend everybody watches, in which he says we've unfortunately normalized the rhetoric of genocide. And if you look on ex-Mormon subreddit, they have normalized the rhetoric of violence against Mormons. They sound no different than the men in the Warsaw Signal who were justifying the martyrdom of Joseph Smith. The colloquialisms are slightly different, but the reasoning, the attitude, and the rhetoric of current ex-Mormon, anti-Mormon subreddit is literally the exact same as the men who murdered Mormons and killed the prophet Joseph Smith in Carthage City Jail. And not Carthage City Jail, but in Carthage.
Lucky for us, all those ex-Mos on subreddit are all noodle arm soy boys. So we don't have much to worry about. Keep your anger pointed at the keyboards, people. Come fight us in the comments at Word Radio. Don't break into our chapels, people. You're not going to find anything anyways. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know how I got on the tangent. I apologize.
Oh, no, but I have a question for Jonah.
Yeah, hit it.
And I've been thinking about this.
I'm in the middle of a podcast.
I've been thinking about this for like the last 5 minutes. Is that a skunk under the finance thing on that drawer?
On the picture on the drawer.
Is that a skunk?
They got busted open. Yeah, I saw that. It's
and if
a
so,
skunk
why?
magnet.
Why is there a skunk on that drawer, Jonah?
It's a skunk magnet under the finance sticker on that picture. Do you see it? Why is there a skunk magnet?
Maybe that's are
those the people behind on their tithing?
No, maybe it's like their calling card, like the wet bandits.
I was gonna say,
like the
was it there before? What is with the skunk?
I don't know. That could be the key to tracking them down. Brittany, you should be a private investigator. It's amazing.
I should. Maybe I am.
Sherlock Holmes here.
Yeah.
We missed the skunk. I don't know what that is.
Yeah. So anyway,
I can't tell what it is.
Yeah, we're gonna get Chris Murphy. We're gonna get him a pirate Bible. I might even put a cute little cool cover on it, and I'll just say thanks for all that you do. And I have a feeling I'm gonna meet Chris someday. And, Chris, whatever happened to you, bro, like honestly, just mano to mano, all joking aside, the level of cynicism you have is demonstrative of somebody who's gone through terrible things. And you've probably had terrible things you did not deserve done to you. And the only thing that can repair that level of pain is supernatural. The level of cynicism you got, brother, is a supernatural cynicism, which means something supernatural or something just out of the ordinary was done to you, and you probably didn't deserve it, bro, and you got a lot of pain, and the only thing that can cure that level of pain is Jesus Christ. And as much as I'm annoyed sometimes by the things you do, at the end of the day, I actually feel bad for you, dog. And I want to help you, if you would receive that help, to try and figure out how hopefully Jesus couldn't do it. Now, I'm not saying your church group. I'm not saying any friends or family that probably misrepresented Christianity in your past. I'm not saying, me, Kwaku, or Brad are good examples, any of this crap. I'm just talking just straight you and God through the atonement of Jesus Christ is the only way forward, man, because something happened to you, dog, and I want to help you get through it, because at the end of the day, all joking aside, you're my brother. You're a child of God. We all come from the same family, and bro, you know what I'm saying? Like it's better on the other side, dog. it gets
Better
better.
on the other
it's
side.
It's better on the other side, right?
That's
So,
right. That's right.
anyway, all right, we got to go. I promised Brittany a 60 to 90 minute podcast. We're already into an hour and 45 minutes. She's ready to divorce me, So anyway,
Again.
any last super chats? We got 1 minute outro. Make sure you like the stream, please. Also, go to Ward Radio. And thirdly, I will show this now. First time, big reveal. Okay. I will show this now on the screen so everybody can see it. Let's go to left screen. I didn't think I was going to be doing this. Overlay with media player only, browser only, in the window is going to be none other than the chord of dis. And here you go. We got a Discord here. So I'm going to make this all big so everybody can see it. But here we go. We got a Discord here for everybody. And I'm going to make sure that everybody can see it. But here's the Ward Radio Discord. So,
woohoo! Right on.
Yeah, everybody can see it here and everybody can participate. If you guys are on Discord, check it out. It's available now, and it's called the Ward Radio Community Discord. We got people that are going to be moderating and so on and so forth. But now everybody that's involved in the Ward Radio community can just check it out and join up and have some fun. We look forward to it being a place where everybody can just chill and have fun and just enjoy themselves and opine, talk about our shows, talk about their lives, talk about getting help with lessons or getting help with all kinds of elders quorum lessons, Sunday school stuff, recipes for refreshments. I don't know. What have you
inspirational verses from the Pirate Bible?
Yeah. What have you put on the Discord, my friend? What have you put on the Discord?
Who, me?
Yeah. Have you put anything on the Ward Radio?
Well,
community
I
Discord?
put some pictures up there that somebody was deleting. They said they were too private.
Oh, that might have been me. Those are just from me. Yeah.
All
right. Yeah. Brittany gets really
Still
uncomfortable.
here.
I'm still here. That's funny. All right, cool. Well, we got to go, unfortunately. But yeah, everybody, if you have a chance, check us out on Discord. If you want to see more, please sign up for our email list on wardradio.com. Also, the invite link to the Discord server is on wardradio.com. If you click on the Discord link on the social, it should take you there. Yes.
We want to see pictures of you in front of the giving machines. And the last thing I want to say is, I was just reading PragerU and I discovered this and I want to share it with everybody. Russell M. Nelson is absolutely a modern day prophet of God. And we are so lucky to have him. And he's totally a prophet. You heard it here first, folks. If we heard it here first, I don't know where you are, what circles you're in. But if you heard it here first, it's still true. Russell M. Nelson is a modern day prophet.
Yes, we just had 2 people join the Discord server. Ron P just showed up. D just landed. They're all waving to say hi. It's pretty fun. And Sandra H just joined the channel. Sandra H, everybody would like to welcome Sandra H to the Ward family. Please put a W in the chat. This will be one of the fun last things we do. But we got a lot of people here. This Discord server link is only good for another 6 days. I'm doing this as a temporary experiment because I want to see if everybody can be well behaved in the Discord chat. Also, I have to get better at moderating it myself. Danny Gray offered to help out, and there was a nice young woman and a couple of other young men at BYU who offered to help become moderators of the Discord chat. And I'm gonna have to reach out to them this week and see if we can't do the Discord thing. But yeah, it looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun. So over the next 6 days, if you want to jump into the Discord, you can jump into the Discord. So
and tell the people again where the link is.
Well, here's the link right here. Actually, I'll put it on the screen really fast. So here's the overlay with browser. Let me check out the browser really fast, and I'm going to change it from this to, it's got to be Firefox. Okay. So if you go, guys, to the Ward Radio website right here, if you're not familiar with the Ward Radio website, you just go to wardradio.com. Okay. And then this shows up. Boom shakalaka. There's the Ward Radio website. You can contribute through Venmo right here. All of our latest videos end up showing right there. Got little biographies on the hosts. And then down here, you can join the the list, and it's cutting off the very header, unfortunately. Let me pull this down a little bit for you.
Paulie Nike's 2000 is also volunteering as a moderator. He could be
awesome. That'd be great.
Moderator.
That'd be great. So anyway, you can see right here on the top right, there's a YouTube link, there's a Twitter link, there's a Spotify link, there's a TikTok link, there's an Instagram link, and there it is. See that little paddle right there that looks like a PlayStation paddle? That's the logo for Discord. And if you click on that Discord logo, you might have to sign up for Discord if you're unfamiliar with Discord, but Discord's a pretty cool social media site that a lot of gamers use, but it's also the functional backbone of how we share a lot of information live on the show. Now, you can't have access to our live on the show version because that's one we use just for the show for people that participate in the show. But we've created one for all the members of our channel that if they want to talk to each other, not just in the YouTube chat can you do it. Now you can do it on Discord, which is going to be pretty cool. So anyway,
it'd be so cool.
Carla Vega says, I'm almost in. Paulie Nike said, solid call out. Thanks, Jonah Barnes. Love you, man. And then the Devil's Nest says, church hurt is real, Chris. People are not perfect. The gospel
Did you say the Devil's Nest? Or did you say the
Dove's Nest? Oh, whoops. She's new. I can't botch it already. Don't get it. The Devil's Nest. Look at that. The Devil's Nest. It's the crow's nest full of the dove's nest. We're all
Bishop Ellis is already offending the newest members of the ward. Also, guys, by the way, next week we got great stuff coming. Don Bradley is going to be with us next week.
Yep.
Kwaku L is going to be back in the studio next week. Brad Whitbeck could be here unless he's in Salt Lake interviewing about the Ballard
position
to fill the position.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
But they might give him time, one last media appearance before he's red chaired.
Yeah,
we'll
exactly.
See.
So never gun for the red
Make
chair.
sure you're subscribed. Make sure you hit the little bell. Make sure you tell your friends. Tell your grandmas. We need more grandmas in the chat, guys.
That's true. That's true. So Glitter and Bliss, as we said before, the link is on our website and Ward Radio. The link to the Discord. Check it out there. Other than that, it's been real and it's been fun. And it's been real fun. We will see you guys in the next